Okay, let's jump right into today's explainer. We are unpacking something incredibly profound, quite heavy, but honestly so absolutely necessary to talk about: generational healing and breaking the cycle. If you've ever found yourself wondering why family dynamics can be, well, so deeply complicated, or if you're even just thinking about building a family of your own someday, the concepts we're about to map out are literally essential. Doesn't it hurt to know the one who gave you life can also destroy it? Just let that sink in for a second. It's a jarring statement, right? But it highlights this painful, incredibly complex paradox. The very person responsible for your existence, the ultimate symbol of nurturing and safety, also holds this unparalleled power to cause deep emotional destruction. That heavy contradiction right there is really the baseline of everything we're exploring today. So it brings us to a question we really need to sit with. Why does the ultimate safe space sometimes cause the most profound harm? Whether you're looking back on your own upbringing right now or maybe thinking about your future as a parent, this dynamic affects all of us. We naturally just assume the parent-child bond is inherently protective, but why, in reality, does it sometimes become a source of such devastating pain? Well, what's really interesting here is that the true cause of this painful dynamic rarely actually comes from malice. It's not usually intentional. Instead, it's a mother who only projects her inherited wounds. Think about what that implies for a second. A mother is unknowingly passing on something she already carries. She's just projecting her own completely unhealed inherited wounds right onto her child. And that brings us to what inherited wounds actually are. We're talking about unaddressed emotional pain and trauma that gets passed down ignorantly from one generation to the very next. The absolutely key word to remember here is ignorantly, because this isn't some conscious, malicious strategy. It's a totally blind transfer of pain. When a mother hasn't unpacked her own past, that trauma literally becomes the invisible lens through which she parents. So that leaves a parent looking at two very different paths. On one hand, you have projecting the wound, which is that destructive cycle of unknowingly dumping your unresolved pain onto your kids. And on the flip side, you have recognizing the wound, which is this empowering, incredibly brave path of deep self-awareness. It's the literal difference between keeping a cycle of suffering alive and finally breaking it for good. Section 1, the call for accountability. There is a really powerful thought here. A mother should recognize her own wound instead of projecting it and destroying her children. It is absolutely crucial, because beyond a child uncovering wounds in childhood, mothers must be accountable to work on their pain so it isn't passed down ignorantly. Just saying, well, I had a hard childhood, that simply doesn't cut it anymore. Accountability means doing the actual hard emotional labor. So breaking the cycle, it takes an actionable, highly conscious process. Step 1, you've got to recognize the wound. You actually have to name the pain you're carrying. Step 2 is to stop the projection. Start noticing when you're reacting to your child based on your own past, rather than what's happening right in front of you. And step 3, seek therapy. Let's be real. Professional guidance is so often the bridge you need between just recognizing a wound and actually healing it. Section 2, healing before motherhood. And this brings us to a really provocative idea. Maybe mothers need therapy before even thinking of having a child. I mean, wow, right? It's a bold statement, but honestly, it completely tracks logically with everything we've talked about. We so often treat therapy like it's a reaction to a crisis, a fire extinguisher. But what if doing that profound self-healing was viewed as the ultimate prerequisite for responsible motherhood? Section 3, protecting the pure soul. Because yes, you must be responsible for the soul you bring into the world. They are pure and untinted, not you. When a child arrives, they show up without any of that heavy baggage from your past traumas. So the immense, non-negotiable responsibility of parenting is to protect that purity from your own unresolved shadows. Let's just summarize the core takeaways here. Number 1, you have to be responsible for the new soul. Number 2, actively work on your own pain. And number 3, do not pass trauma down ignorantly. Ignorance really is no longer an excuse. You are entirely accountable for making sure that the buck stops with you and that your history doesn't become their burden. So what does this all mean for you? I want to leave you with this final question. Are you ready to heal yourself before you hold them? It's a big question, I know, but it challenges us to totally elevate our standard of what it actually means to be prepared for family. Doing that deep, sometimes messy internal work is quite literally the ultimate act of parental love. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying the cycle ends today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, guys. Understanding this really is step one toward genuine generational healing.